New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
Good afternoon. I'm hoping everyone is their fabulous, beautiful self today. I'm Barbara Schreiner Trudell, and I am the host of The Joy Show. And joy for me is an acronym, just one U, the importance of living your sacred, authentic self. And I am also the founder and spiritual director of the Center for Spiritual Living on the Lake in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And our vision is transforming humanity through the emergence of the sacred, authentic self. So, as we begin today, I would like to begin with a land acknowledgement. And what I just know is that I am so grateful to be living, working, and playing on lands that have been the home of Indigenous people and Indigenous nations long before colonial documentation of time. And where I am is specifically the land of the Wendat, Anishinaabe, Mississaugas of the Credit, and the Haudenosaunee. The territory known as Toronto is under the One Dish, One Spoon Wampum Belt, a peace treaty between the Haudenosaunee and the Anishinaabe, and is a mutual agreement between nations for sharing land and resources. It has had many Indigenous names and words associated with this place, and today it is the home of a multitude of Indigenous people, languages, and cultures from around the world. So I'm really grateful to honor and respect the reconciliation that is going on and to be part of this change. Well, today my guest is just one of my favorite people in the entire world. My guest is Deya Beltran, and Deya is my administrative assistant at CSL. But beyond that, she is my friend, my sister. She is this beautiful, remarkable woman who came from Mexico to Canada, has found her way to this teaching of the science of mind, and it has been a positive change in her life. And so I'm going to let her share more of that journey. So please help me to welcome Deya. Hello, my love.
Hola!
Hola, amiga. So I'm so glad that you could join us today. Now you're in Mexico right now.
Yes, I am.
Yes, you are. And tell me a little bit, or tell our viewers a little bit about how you found this science mind teaching.
Yes, well, I was raised Catholic here in Mexico. You know, society pushes you to be a Catholic. Even though my parents were atheists, well, I got baptized and the communion, all that kind of stuff. But I was indoctrinated with fear. So in my teenage years, I was like, okay, this doesn't make any sense to me. And I left church and everything. Then, well, I had some issues coming up as a young adult, and I found metaphysics, and I was like, oh, okay, this is intriguing. But it was like, okay, I don't have time for this stuff. I'm going to focus on what I have to do right now. And I forgot about it. I got married, and I was having what I thought it was a great life, like with the love of my life, a good job. I was feeling that, okay, yeah, I am accomplishing everything that I'm supposed to. But I don't know, something happened. I got depressed and I couldn't find a way out. So I thought, okay, maybe it is affecting me to live here in this city that it's so crowded and polluted, and there's so much stress, and I live in fear because of the violence and the corruption. Let's get out of here. We already had been in Canada. One of our We used to have every year an anniversary wedding anniversary trip. So the first time we came to Canada, we went to the um, west part. We were in Vancouver, and we yeah, so many beautiful places, and we were like, okay, Canada is super. We would love to live here. Next year we went back, but to the eastern part. Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal, Quebec. Wow, it's fantastic. We should move here. So yeah, it was in our minds. Like, okay, we even created a collage that we
Hmm.
um, put on our wall behind our the headset, and we were like, every time we would talk about the future, oh, when we live in Canada, we would do this, we would go there, like without knowing that we were already using, well,
The
science of
teaching.
mind, right? So we
Yes.
were already there without knowing it, and things, yeah, happened. We
Yeah.
didn't have to make them happen. The path were just opening, and there was the opportunity to move up, and we were like, okay, we're taking the opportunity. We didn't know what would happen. We told our family, okay, we are going to try, let's see what happens. We just got one suitcase, a few dollars, because, well, yeah, we didn't have a lot. We were a young married couple, right? So we didn't have all the money in the world. And okay, let's get into this adventure. We got there, and I was like, yeah, kind of living the dream, like, okay, we are starting from scratch again, and this is so exciting. I remember we were sleeping on the floor on a mattress, and we had a second hand uh, and dinner table. It was so like simple,
Yeah.
but it was the adventure, right? So, oh, we were over the moon. Okay, let's see what we can accomplish here. And I was doing okay. Like, mentally, I was better, but I was having my ups and downs.
Hmm.
And one of those dark moments, I remembered that I was, when I found metaphysics and all those books that my mom had, I remembered that I read Louise Hay's book, You Can Heal Your Life, and she talked there about religious science. And when
Yes.
I read that in Mexico, I was like, oh, this is like a cool place with cool people. So I was thinking, okay, I'm already in Canada. I didn't know that we had religious science in Mexico. It was like something like very hush,
Secret.
like, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So it wasn't easy. And by that time, well, internet was not what it was right now. Like you could
True.
find anything on the internet. You still would go to the libraries, or like this yellow pages, right? So it wasn't easy to find that place in Mexico. But I was like, okay, I'm in Canada. I know she was in New York, so maybe there's something here in Canada. And Center for Spiritual Living Toronto showed up on my screen, and I was like, okay, I should check it out. It was on the other side of the city. I was living in the West End, and it was all the way to the end,
East
East
End.
End. So I told my husband, okay, remember this book and this lady and all the cool stuff that I read? Well, there's a center here where they teach that. We should go and check it out. We went there, and oh my gosh, just by getting at the door, there was this lovely lady as a greeter. She handed out like the flyer for the day,
Program. Hmm.
and we could see a lot of joyful people, and you could feel happiness and love. And we were like, we were strangers in Canada, right?
Yeah.
English was not our first language. We didn't know anyone. It was just Ulysses, my husband, and I. So when we came in and we were like, okay, we felt accepted, valued, important, and it was okay, this is so cool. And when you, Rev B, showed up on the stage and she opened her mouth and all these words of wisdom and love came out, I was impressed. It was like I was so moved, like oh my gosh, I was needing this in my life. Now everything makes sense and everything is happening for a reason,
Yeah.
and I'm in the right place at the right moment. I was overjoyed, and after
Oh,
your talk, I went to meet you, and I told her
yeah.
this is my first time. We are from Mexico. My husband didn't speak
I speak
English.
English and came every week. I was absolutely astounded that Ulysses was there week after week after week, even though he did not know what I was saying. It was incredible.
Yeah, because, well, he didn't need to understand the words, just the energy and the feeling, and all those lovely, smiley faces.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, we feel at home without being home in Mexico, right? So
Yeah.
that's
Nice.
when we felt that, okay, this is the right place. We are doing okay and we will be okay. And well, I started taking all your classes, and that's when I started working with you. Well, I started as a volunteer first because I love it. I remember that you were about to have uh, this group from USA. I don't remember.
Oh, I
Um,
remember them. I can't remember their name. They were amazing.
yeah, musicians, and so
Yeah.
you were having this event and you were needing volunteers to help with
Yeah.
setup, and I was okay, count me in. I think I was the first one to say, okay, yeah, I'm in. I didn't know anyone, but yeah, I went to help out. And they came, they sang, and they had
Yeah.
this show. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is my tribe. Like, I'm in the right place. So, yeah, to all the classes that you offered, I started practitioner training with you.
Yeah.
I almost finished, but that's when, well,
I
you had
left.
to leave, and yeah, I didn't feel at home anymore when you left.
Yeah.
And so that's why I didn't finish my studies, and then things started happening again, right? A lot of
Yeah.
challenges with my friends, with my health,
Yeah.
and I was so confused that I left it aside, all that I learned, all my books, and well, you and I went separate ways as well. So I was like, okay, yeah, maybe this was not for me. And I had, yeah, several years being sick again.
Yeah.
But then you decided to come back and you reached, and I was like, for sure, yeah, I will help you out. I'm in again.
Well,
And
it
things
was
started
interesting because
shifting.
I knew that you weren't well. We had chatted a few times over the years, and I knew that you were having some challenges, and I was reluctant to ask you to come work for me again because I thought, oh, you're not feeling well. And then I thought, well, maybe you could do a little bit of work from home. And when you said yes, I was elated because there's something about the synergy of you and I working together that just fits so beautifully.
Yes,
It, like putting
yes.
your hand in a glove that fits right. It's our relationship is one that just fits. And it's always been joyful. Like
Mhm.
you're the most joyful person I've ever met. So I'm always in awe of the time that we spend together and the work that we accomplish because you get a lot done. I'm so grateful.
Yeah, well, and that's why, because I was working for you as well, and when you left, well, yeah, I didn't feel like, yeah, it wasn't a good match, right, with the person that came after you, and that's why I left CSL as well. So yeah, when you told me, okay, would you like to spend a couple of hours of your time helping me out, I was, oh yeah, because I had missed that. It's
Yeah,
our friendship, but also the way we work together. We
yeah,
are so in tune, like your vision is my vision, so it's
yeah.
so easy to work for you, with you. It's like I was like, okay, yes, I'm going to help you to build this up again because you already had done it, right? So it was like, yeah, absolutely, it was a no-brainer. And I told Ulysses, okay, Rev B contacted me and she wants me to go back. What did you said? He asked. And I was like, oh yeah, but you are sick. I don't care. I want to help her out. And well, from there, things started shifting again. And
Yeah.
I was so sick and I
You were
couldn't,
very sick. Oh my gosh, I was so concerned. Yeah.
yeah, and I couldn't see what you could see on me, the
Mhm,
wholeness, the perfection,
mhm.
the force of the universe, this stardust that my cells are made of, right?
Yeah.
So I asked for help, and you helped me once again, because you already did when we arrived to Canada, and we were like, oh, is this the right place for us? Are we, are we going to have a future here? And so this time it was like I surrendered to the teaching, but it's very good to have a mentor, and you have been that for me. And I was, okay, she's so certain on what she believes, and I have so many doubts right now that I'm just going to surrender and let her elevate me. Like, okay, yeah, it's like I'm on your hands, and yeah, treat me please, because my treatments, I am blocked.
Well,
But
I think that's what happens to many of us when we're in the midst of whatever the struggle is that we're experiencing. It's hard sometimes to see the fact that the universe is for us, that we're one with it, that it is all powerful, which means we are powerful. And so sometimes having someone else telling us how wonderful and fabulous and terrific we are, lifting us up, like you said, what happens is we can start to believe something else. And I know part of the teaching that I've had over the years is I've said to people over and over again, do you believe it's possible? And if they go, well, not really. Well, do you think I believe it's possible? Yeah, I believe you think it is. Excellent. Borrow my belief,
yes.
borrow that for a while and see where that takes you. So it's interesting to kind of work together and just find that rhythm that allows for a new understanding, because all of us have the ability to heal ourselves. And you are doing so much better right now. I'm so excited.
Oh,
Can't
yes.
wait till you're back in Canada.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know. And the healing that you had as well a
Yes.
month ago, it has also inspired me a lot. Like I saw what when I surrendered to you, to the teaching, is it helped me, right? But seeing what you just had accomplished, it's like, okay, yeah, everything is possible. It's just like never give up, because I gave up. I was like, okay, this is not working, and yeah, this, yeah, let's put it aside. And
Yeah.
you have been constant, and that's what I missed.
Hmm.
So this time, well, I learned my lesson, and I'm going to be constant, even if everything looks like it's not happening.
Yeah.
It will happen. I don't
Well,
know when, I don't know how, but it will happen. I just need
it
to
does.
surrender.
That's the biggest, I think that's the biggest difficulty for most of us is giving up that desire to control outcomes, timing, that sort of thing, and to figure out the way it's going to occur. And so surrendering is not about giving up, it's about moving into that consciousness of oneness so that we
So that
can allow the healing to occur. Because even the healing I had didn't happen by accident or even that quickly. I mean, I had been, quite disabled for a number of years before I was able to go, wait a minute. And it was through a number of things like having Reiki sessions with the Reiki master that I work with, Nancy, and doing spiritual mind treatment twice a day and always including health in that. Speaking about how every cell is perfect, whole, and complete. Everyone works harmoniously with every other cell. You tell yourself this over and over again, and you begin to change what you think and what you believe. And by changing that, you create a portal that allows for the healing to occur. And even my workouts with my son have allowed me to strengthen my body. So I know for you that coming back to CSL was such a beautiful and powerful thing. I'm so grateful you're back. And now you'll have your practitioner training done in no time.
yes, yeah, I can wait. September 23rd. And I'm excited because I was missing that, having my team, right? Because we
Hmm.
built up such strong relationships. We share so, um whatever it's in our hearts, we
Yeah,
share it with them. So they are like part of your companions on that path. And just by knowing who my new companions are going to be, is like, okay, yes,
well, it's
exciting.
exciting because we are all connected. And as we learn to walk together, we begin to find inner resources that maybe we had forgotten that we even had. But we can support one another to be the best that we can be. And for me, the whole journey of this, like this show, is about finding your authenticity and living that. It's
Mhm.
finding who you are, and that's where the healing comes. If we can just be who we are, then life flows so much easier. So tell me, what is your biggest dream for your life moving forward?
Um, find the balance between the mundane and the spiritual and real. And because I have been struggling a lot with not being at peace. It's like, I just want to make peace with what it is.
Yeah,
And from there, being a beacon of light to others.
right.
Because it's not just for, oh yeah, I just want to heal myself and be happy. And no, no, I want to share my love. And I'm so like loving and hugging, and it's like I want everybody to be happy. So yeah, finding my peace, I'm able to share it. And I think being here with you, being part of a CSL, it's like, okay, yeah, I'm making this happen little by little. As I grow, I will help others to
Yeah.
grow. And yeah, that's it. It's not like, oh yeah, I have this dream of retiring in a sunny beach, and it's like, no, just like whatever it is, to be okay with it, and from there being able to shift it and help others to shift it.
It's so important to get comfortable with what is, because what is, and it can't be changed. I think
Yeah.
that's where we get caught up sometimes is we look at what's happening and we go, but I don't like it and I don't want it and I want it to go away. And that resistance, of course, holds it in place. So, and it's, especially when we have an illness or we have physical pain or finances are tight or whatever, it's like that conflict within us to get something different, make something different. And that's the very thing that prevents us from actually making the shift. So, it's
Yeah.
exciting to listen to, your plan for the future as you explore more of the we conversation. And I think that's what's essential moving forward is to come to understand that we are in this together. And there really is only one thing going on, and we're all some part of it. We have to find a way of being present with all that is. So we're going to take a brief little break right now, go to a little commercial, and then we'll be back. My guest today is Deya Beltran, and she is my admin assistant and just this beautiful, sweet, lovely being of love and light. And I'm so grateful that she's here. We'll be back in just a moment. Don't leave. Well, welcome back to the Joy Show. I'm Barbara Schreiner Trudell, and I'm here with Deya Beltran today, the beautiful, happy, joyful being of love and light that we're so grateful to work with. And Cheryl's in the room and in a full agreement because Deja also works for Cheryl. So
Hi,
we
Cheryl.
we're really happy to be talking today. Now, your journey has been one of kind of up and down. And as a new immigrant to Canada, when you first came here, what were some of the challenges you faced that were helped by the support you got through CSL or through different agencies? How was that transition for you?
Yeah, well, at the beginning, I realized that my Mexican degree was useless. I'm an accountant, and they were like, okay, yeah, but you are not trained in Canada. So, no, thank you. You should go back to school. And I was like, no, I don't think so. So that was my first like challenge, like, okay, my degree is not valid. How am I going to get a job? And in Canada, they have this culture of volunteering that it's something that we don't have in Mexico. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm not working for free. Like, are they crazy or what? But I realized that at the center, that
Yeah.
volunteers, and I was like, okay, so happy to work for free. Why? So I was like, okay, do what you see, right? And then I realized, okay, this is the way to go. And this should be something that the world um should do.
Yeah,
Like, I'm giving here my talent, my time to make this a better place, not because what am I going to get from it.
exactly.
It was just like, okay, yeah. So I learned that, and that opened the the doors for me to get a job with
Yes, it
you,
did.
because I, from being a volunteer, well, you realize that I was not bad at what I was doing. So you
I realized
decided to
how
give me an
skilled you were.
opportunity.
Yeah,
and
I was
and to
happy to hire
every
you.
immigrant that I cross my path with in Canada,
Yeah,
I tell them right away, okay, don't look for a job, volunteer first,
yeah,
because will learn, like, how is the culture,
yeah,
and also you will get to know people, you will start growing your network, and then you will have opportunities. Because
absolutely.
if you come like with your non-valid degree, and then it's like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do?
Yeah,
So
math
yeah,
is
that
so
was.
different in Canada than the Mexico. Like, I can understand how it wouldn't translate because numbers, those are really different from one country to the next.
Yes, yeah,
That's silly. Like, I can understand some things, but that one I don't get. What's interesting to me is what you said about volunteering, because I remember when I first moved to Toronto to start CSL, I came here with nothing, kind of like you did. But, of course, I was already in Canada, so it wasn't quite a transition. But coming in here and going, okay, well, I don't know anybody and I'm not sure, I'm starting this center, but what am I going to do in the meantime? So I volunteered with one of the candidates for she was running for the civic politics. And I went, I'll go door knocking with you. It'd be a great way to get to know the neighborhood, get to know people. I went out with her 2 nights, just gave my time. I enjoyed what I was doing. And she hired me, and I was working in City Hall. So, you gave your time to CSL and I hired you, and I've never regretted it for a moment. You've been such an asset in so many ways. Um, and most especially, I have to say that probably the greatest gift that you give to me and to our community, I believe, is your joy. Like, you are a bundle of love. And I think that having that energy at the very core of what we do is more valuable than all of your skills put together. And your skills are immense. And I'm so grateful for them. But that joy that you bring to your work, and I think, like this show is about, there's just one you. And if you can be a loving, beautiful, peaceful person, sharing your gifts and talents and being who you are, what happens is that joy just becomes part of the overall experience. So you bring that in, oh, just in an immense way. And it's incredibly valuable.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, well, I whatever I want for me, I want it to the rest of the world, right?
Yeah.
So if I want happiness and good vibes and good deeds, it's like what I'm going to offer, because I know how good it feels to receive that, and I love giving that. It feeds me to see others smiling, or if I can help them in any way, it makes me happy.
Of course. And
Yeah.
it makes everyone around you happy, which makes our world a better place. Like it's, I'm always surprised by, when someone is withholding their love or withholding their energy and then complaining about the world around them. And we can only receive from the world what we're willing to be in the world. And so what I've noticed with you is your willingness to be present with people and to really support everyone in such a loving, kind way. And so that, of course, gets reciprocated, where we're wanting to give back to you in the same way because we receive so much from you. And I'm sure Cheryl, who's on the call, would agree. I noticed in the chat she put, "Love you, Deja." It's like, and that and as a new immigrant, I mean, you've been here for a while now, but when you emigrated, it's
Immigrated.
like that's a whole big thing. That's a whole big thing that happens. Like it's a different culture, it's a different language, it's a different climate. I mean, everything
Oh,
was.
yes. I'm always cold, even in Mexico. So yeah, people were like, "Okay, are you nuts? You are moving to the North Pole?" So, okay, well, I have to. I want to try it. And now my husband, every time that someone tells us like, "Oh, but it's so cold there," and my husband says, "Well, I don't live on the street. I have a one place to sleep, so it's a no-brainer." And yeah, well, I got used to it very quickly because I tell you, everything was so new. The snow, the first time we traveled to Canada, well, we didn't have any contact prior to that with the snow. So I still remember the feeling of my foot stepping on the snow for the very first time. And
Oh,
I could even hear how, like, yeah, the snow getting into my, like, the sole
grooves of the
has.
boots.
Yes, it was like, okay. So I was like, and we always in Mexico watch movies from Hollywood, right? And those ones from the Christmas movies, and oh, you
Yes.
see everything, it's white and all the snowflakes. I was living the dream. Like, it's not the movies anymore, it's my life. So I think that helped me to accept the cold weather. It was like, okay,
Yeah.
I always wonder how would it feel, and it looks so magical on TV. So now my life is going to be magical.
Oh, well, it's so interesting because, the idea of the cold, I don't love it quite as much as you do. But I remember when my youngest daughter was, I don't know, probably 2 years old or something, and she speaks French. But the first snowfall, she went running and jumped up on the love seat to look out the bedroom window, and she's la neige, la neige, la neige. The snow, the snow.
So
She was
excited.
so excited to see the snow. And I think, again, when you go I remember the first time I went to Mexico, and I was in the East Coast along the by Cozumel and stuff, and the water so
Mm.
turquoise blue and so beautiful, and the sand so white, and I was in awe of that. So I think, it kind of goes both ways when we discover different communities and cultures and types of surroundings. There's a great joy that comes from seeing something new and experiencing something new for the first time. So I'm curious, when you started driving here,
I had to go to
how was that?
school.
Mhm.
I was so afraid. Like, it's like, oh my gosh. So during summer, I went to school first because also to get a driver's license in Canada, well, you
Yeah,
have to pass a test. Here in
yeah,
Mexico, it's like, okay, you just go there, pay, they take the picture, and you have your driver's license, right? So
Yeah.
when I discovered that that wouldn't be that easy,
Yeah.
I was grateful because, okay, I'm going to learn the right way. You know, in Mexico, we are crazy. We don't follow the rules. Like, no,
Oh
no,
my
no. So
goodness.
I really
Cheryl
want
just
to
said
be
it's
a good
snowing in South
citizen.
Africa today.
Yeah, just like that. And I wanted to start like on the right foot, right? So
Yeah.
I wanted to be a good citizen and follow all the rules, never do what I hated in my country, right? So I was like, okay, yeah, here I'm going to school. And I learned so much in theory because it was summertime and they
Yeah.
were talking like when you drive on snow and if you are losing control of the car. So I knew how to do it here, but not like on the wheel, right? So I got the car in summertime. I think it was August. And oh my gosh, everybody follows the rules here. That's amazing. And everybody's so kind and respectful.
Uh,
Yay. But the winter came and it looks so beautiful, like in the movies, right? Oh yeah, this white blanket on the road. And I started driving and the car was like this. And I was like, okay, see, so fine on the movies. And then I realized that, okay, this will take me some time to get used to.
yeah.
And I got, I didn't get afraid of it, but I was cautious.
Good.
And I learned to drive on snow, on freezing rain. But when I had this kind of scare on freezing rain, I was afraid again. Like I don't want to go. Like I don't want to drive in winter. I was so scared because I lost control. I was arriving home, almost getting in the parking lot, but there was this black ice on the road
Yeah.
and the car, well, I couldn't control it and I was afraid and I did what you didn't have to do, like twist like the wheel, and I almost crashed onto a tree.
Yeah.
And I was so scared. And my neighbor was walking the dog and he saw everything and he was like, are you okay? And I was in shock and I was like, could you help me get my car into my parking spot? Because I couldn't drive anymore. And I told my husband, I called him, he was at work. Oh, this happened to me, and I had to go to work because I was coming back from dropping him to work, right?
Yeah.
And I remember I had to go to work, and I go, I'm afraid of taking the car again. So I hire an Uber, and I went. But I remember that even if you are riding a bike and if you fell, you have to go up again. If not,
Yeah.
that won't happen anymore. So I force myself to do it. But now, if there's freezing rain, I try not to go
Well,
out.
freezing rain is very different from snow, and it's impossible to walk on. It's just you need skates basically. And so that's a very different thing. I don't like to drive on ice either. Unless you have steel studs in your tire, which no one uses in Toronto because we don't get a lot of it. But that's a very serious thing. Snow, on the other hand, I mean, I was raised in Alberta, so driving on snow is what
Mm.
we do. It's never bothered me, but there have been times when, the car will slide and it's figuring out what to do. Don't step on the gas, slip it into neutral. There's things that you can do that really help, but that has to be learned. And getting book learning doesn't quite cut the driving
No.
learning.
Practice, practice, practice.
Absolutely, absolutely, so true. So what is your hope moving forward? Like you're on the path to become a practitioner again, and as you accomplish that, what is your hope for your life as a practitioner or a minister or what?
Well, I I shared your vision of all these spiritual organizations coming as one, and
Yes.
I would love to go like to help you and Cheryl as well, because she has that
Yeah.
vision
Yes.
that we can get all together, because Cheryl, it's with unity, right? And you
Yep.
are with CSL, and it's like, okay, we are preaching the same thing, why do we call different?
We are.
That's my vision, like bringing this also this to the masses,
Yeah,
because it's not sustainable the way the world is right now. We just need a shift in consciousness.
we
So
do.
I feel that that's my mission as well, like to spread the word and show them, okay, there
Awesome.
are other options, and if this is hell for you, well, let's turn it into heaven, because it's possible. It's possible.
Yeah.
I really believe it.
Yeah, I think I think it's interesting that there are a number of New Thought churches, and even I was walking the other day, and one of my neighbors, we were chatting, and she's Hindu, and we were talking the very same language. She goes, "Well, there's only one thing. There's only one God or energy or whatever, and it's everywhere." It's I'm going, "Yeah, that's what I teach." And she's talking about oneness and stuff, and it was really lovely to come to understand that we are stronger together, and that when it comes to the metaphysical movement, the new thought movement, there are, well, a number of major organizations that are all kind of sort of doing okay, but imagine what we would do if we all fell under one umbrella. I call it the new thought bridge, but it's this uniting, this oneness, and bringing everybody together. Instead of going my way's the right way, what if we all come together and begin? That's what I love about this New Thought Media Network, is it's
Uh-huh.
really a New Thought collective, and I love that, bringing together people who pray, who do music, and who share messages of love and hope and peace. Our world is really on the precipice of something remarkable. Even the climate healers, when Dr. Sailesh Rowe was on the show, and what was he talking about? Oneness, coming
Mhm.
together, recognizing we're all one, we're all part of one thing. I'm like, the message is so powerful right now. I think we're on the right page to begin to shift everything. uh, New thought, any form of spiritual, whatever. We're one people. Let's come together.
Yes, yeah, and the power is in the numbers. And if
Yeah.
every organization it's like pulling to one side and to the other side, no, no, let's join forces, and the shift will happen. Like I
Absolutely.
remember when we host this event, the Human Summit,
The Human
we
Summit.
were talking that just a small percentage of humanity, if they make the shift, everything will follow, right?
Yeah,
So I think with all these organizations, we are that we reached that percentage. So what are we waiting for?
exactly, exactly. I think the time is here because this conversation's happening all over the place. I'm hearing it from people everywhere. I mean, I'm talking to my neighbors and they're telling the same story. So I think we are at a point of a critical shift that really we're ready for. And it's going to require a few of us to continually push against the paradigm of separation. because that's not sustainable. We cannot do that and continue. It's really about opening our minds and hearts and acknowledging our oneness and really celebrating that oneness moment by moment and day by day. So I think this journey that we're on is really about how do we release the fear, the doubt, the worry, and accept that together we are better. Together we're
Yes.
better. And that's how we heal our world, is to honor all life.
Yeah, and we all have, no matter who we are talking about, we all have the same desire to
Yes.
be happy and to be at peace. Even when you talk during services or classes, even Putin has the same desire, and he
Mhm.
is one with us. And whomever we think it's the bad guy in the
The enemy.
story, we all want the one thing, and we can accomplish without stepping on others to get there. So I can't wait for this to happen, and I want to make it happen. I want to be part of it.
Well, and you are part of it, because I think for each one of us that steps up and says, I'm ready to be the change in my world, it requires that we stand in a place that's a little bit uncomfortable to start with. And I know Cheryl and I are starting a show in September called Spirit Cafe, which you will be producing, which I'm so excited about. And Spirit Cafe is about having courageous conversations. It's about us talking about the things that are uncomfortable, about facing the fear and doing it anyway, standing for whatever needs to, in order to, yes, as Cheryl says, one person at a time until we reach the tipping point. We have to keep talking. We have to keep moving. When we don't understand something, rather than rejecting it, we need to look at it and go, tell me more. Tell me more about that. And we can begin to walk in each other's shoes. We can begin to strive to understand or comprehend and to find value in whatever we're doing. So it's an exciting time. I'm thrilled.
Yes, totally, totally. And
Yeah.
I think even when I left Mexico, nobody would talk about energy, spirituality, the power of the mind, the secret affirmations, meditation, yoga. No one.
Yeah.
And now that I came back, everybody's talking about that. And we have a Catholic society. Well,
Yes.
even them are kind of shifting, and it's like, okay, it's already happening. It's
It is.
already happening.
It's happening everywhere. And it's when we start to acknowledge that and we start to see that the shift is right here, right? The shift is occurring. And so, what we want to do is just keep adding into that energy and keep doing everything we can do individually and collectively to begin to move that to a place of true, honest acceptance of all people in all ways at all times. And I know that, as we open up our services in person again, which we'll do next month, I am really inviting people from all different walks of life to be part of that experience, because I don't want us practicing separation. If we don't understand another person, then let us sit together. And what we'll soon discover, like you already said, is that all of us want the same thing. We want
Mhm.
to feel peace in our hearts and minds. We want to support our families and friends. We want to be happy.
Yes.
There's so much that we desire, but we all have the same desire. There is no difference. We might go about it in a different way. Like Putin
Mhm.
might think, oh, I have to go kill people to do this, to take back what's mine. That's fear. But we have a choice to shift consciousness. And that's why I do this show. That's why Cheryl and I and you will be doing the Spirit Cafe, is we are looking at shifting consciousness. And we do that by shining a light wherever darkness appears, wherever fear seems to be growing. That's where we're going. And like Cheryl just said in the chat, we're expanding consciousness. And that's That's so exciting. So I want to train a lot of practitioners, because when we get people out there who are living this truth and practicing this and welcoming all people to the table, I think we begin to see some huge shifts that are going to make a big, big difference. So it's
Yeah,
exciting.
it's
But we'll have to
time.
see
We are
about.
ready.
We are ready. We are ready. So you're going to have to get back to Canada here, girlfriend, sooner rather
Yeah,
than
I will be back soon.
yes, yes. And I have to say, whether or not, Canada is going to accept your accounting degree or not, I welcome it. I'm so grateful that you're working on our QuickBooks and doing all that stuff for us, because I am not very good at that stuff. So it's lovely to have your skills and talents, and I know we use that at CSL Toronto and now here at CSL on the Lake. And I think too that, as we get back into the same space where we can be together again, there's going to be an opportunity for you to participate in even bigger ways as a part of this shift in consciousness. And, you were mentioning the Human Summit, and maybe it's
Mhm.
time we do something like that again. That was pretty powerful. That was really a remarkable experience. And I think the fact that we did it during the G20 was such a huge opportunity
Mhm.
to begin to shift consciousness and to create a greater sense of harmony. And I think the more we do that, we begin to see the world, the potential, the possibility of, finding a place for all of us.
Yeah, and I remember during that event, it was not just Toronto who people from Toronto who joined. I remember I was able to reach people even in Spain. So they were like joining us like, in Spain, in Mexico, in the USA. So you could feel the power of that energy. It was not just the ones that we were in the park, it was people all over the world joining in one mind. And it it could be it would be so cool if we could do it again,
Yeah.
because now with social media and the way the net is, it's we are going to be able to reach even more people.
Yeah, that's one of the beautiful things about where we are today, is we now have the opportunity to reach out far beyond the walls of structures that used to be what called our homes. We now have the ability to reach the world simply by putting a message online and allowing ourselves to begin to stream this. So doing something like the Human Summit, I think is brilliant. There's also one thing I love to do, I've only done it a little bit, but is the human library, where two people sit together and simply tell their story, and the other person only listens. And, if we did more listening and less talking, I think sometimes we would learn a lot about our fellow human beings, and maybe come to a place of really respecting the journey that we're all on. I want to thank you, my beloved friend, for being here today and sharing this time with me. It's wonderful to have this conversation. And I'm really grateful that we are a team, and that the gifts and value that you bring are immense. So don't forget that. Know that you are loved and appreciated and adored by me, by Cheryl, and by so many others. Sharon Mitchell, Reverend Sharon just mentioned, delightful conversation. You remember Sharon when she was here, and
Yes.
she's lovely now. Yeah, so it's, there's a collective here. There's a collective of people who are living this remarkable teaching and sharing joy and love all over, and that is contagious. So if we're going to share a virus, let it be love, let it be gratitude, let it
Yes.
be peace.
Gracias. I love you. Mwah.
Gracias, gracias, my amiga. I love you too, and I'll see you after the show. Bye, everybody. This is The Joy Show. I'm Barbara Schreiner Trudell, and we're transforming consciousness. We're transforming humanity through the emergence of the sacred, authentic self. Thank you for being with us today. Subscribe and like, and see you soon.